There's been a lot of focus on the Mag 7. Even Broadcom, though, has emerged as one of the best performers in the S&P 500. For more on the tech landscape going into 2025, we're bringing in Ali Mogharabi, Senior Equity Analyst at WestEnd Capital Management. Ali, it's good to see you here. So obviously, the Magnificent Seven, NVIDIA, of course, has been a big story. Well, the emergence of Broadcom, though, and the narrative that it is going to be perhaps the contract chip manufacturer of choice for AI has been an interesting development late in the year. How do you think that's going to play out next year, especially in comparison with NVIDIA?
Well, I think it's going to be beneficial for both, actually. So let's just stick with Broadcom for a second. For Broadcom specifically, I mean, if you look at AI, we're moving more towards from the training side, more towards the inference side. So basically, in other words, what to do with new data and how to interpret it and bring about the answers, and so do the computation and bring about the answers. So that actually requires more customized types of chips, and that's where Broadcom comes into play. And we think they're going to be benefiting from that, of course. It's very likely that they're going to be working with OpenAI. They're going to extend their relationship, of course, with Apple in various areas. They certainly have been working with Google for a long time. So that's on the chip side. And then also there's a lot of connectivity network that's really needed for all of those chips to work together cohesively, and of course to do the computations very efficiently, very quickly. And these guys are actually one of the main players on the network slash connectivity side of it too. So it's kind of like that flywheel that's going to start strengthening a little bit in 2025. That's going to benefit Broadcom. And then on the NVIDIA side, really quickly, I mean, these guys, of course, are dominating the GPU market, and the demand from the hyperscalers still growing well, but of course decelerating a little bit, and those are their clients. But enterprise specific companies that are building their own data centers, I think that's going to drive some demand for NVIDIA. And then of course the release of their Blackwell chips, whether it's the 200 and I think the 300 is probably going to come out in the late first half of 2025. And that's more focused on the inference side of it, which we talked about. And these guys do have that network effect that we talked about Broadcom developing already. So NVIDIA remains in pretty good shape too.
Can we broaden this out to the entire chip space? Who among these companies might be a feature of 2025, might be an outperformer? Last year at the end of the year, it was clearly NVIDIA as the main story. This year it's NVIDIA with Broadcom as a latecomer, and investors are wondering what should we be nibbling on, if not chomping on next?
Well, Broadcom is the main one, we think. I mean, management actually talked about, company specific, the addressable market, basically opportunities for Broadcom itself to generate revenues are going to be growing from around 15 to 20 billion currently to 60 to 90 billion through 2027. So that represents enormous growth opportunities for these guys to take advantage of. So in our opinion, it's right now chip specific. Right now, it's Broadcom.